We don't really touch the universe. We really just touch a little fraction of it. We are in the fraction of the whole universe, but at least we are touching the surface of the earth. We are knowing some information that might be useful or not. And maybe that is why we could conclude at least that we have this ability or the abundance of language that we can say and assume things that we are correct both in reality and the fantasy side of things. So in this video, we're gonna go around the language a little bit, just like going around the world or just circling around ourselves to enjoy ourselves, as well as the experience of others with others and the quality of existence. Yeah, language is really refers to everything. Yeah, it's abundance. Language is abundance. Language is a kind of a came from the sounds, from the movement, uh, from the existence and non-existence. As long as we exist or a material or physical thing exists, then it will form a language, a sound, or point A to point B in simple ways. And then the next thing you know, it got to complexify into many variations of lines, shapes, colors, textures, etc. Yeah, that is what really is language is, right? And if we refer to simplifies what everything, what abundance, what language is, we are really referring to the word meaning. In going deeper with the word meaning, the term meaning really refers to minimizing, right? We minimize things to get what it really means, to understand things in the basic level, so we can identify what we really want and what we are really going to do. So now let's first discuss the first of the Trinity in this video, because you have etymology, multi-definitions, and hyper-definitions. Hyperdimensions, I'm sorry. Uh, it's this is kinda the same as playing toys for the childs, right? Etymology, you dissect or break down the words into parts or syllables so you can get the meaning of it. Another idea for etymology is yeah, it refers to the Latin or something like I don't remember. Yeah, but it refers to the true meaning of things, right? The etymologies, right? It really, when you break down the things, you see it, the inside of it. So then when you put the pieces back together, then you kind of see the whole picture or the big picture. Then you can tell whatever it really means to you, or what do you want to do, or what do you want to expand on, what its purpose, functions, value. So I guess that's the use for the word etymology, to break things apart, to understand things, right? The next one is multi definitions. So after you break things apart, what comes next is the multi definitions, because um, universe is not the only thing that exists. Multiverse as well, and with the confusion and collision of this kind of reality and fantasy verses of things, uh, there may be a Mandela effect. Yeah, I have some glitches too with that, but I will talk to that on next time, or maybe uh, later on. So this kind of multi definitions is enveloped in many of the language that we use, especially those I don't know if we call that white laws or black laws, dictionaries, or there are many others, right? If you go to the library, encyclopedia, and now to the internet, uh, there's many more. Uh, there is there's a lot. If you go down the conspiracy rabbit hole, right? So you don't need to go to the bad side of things. Just be aware and be safe upon using what you found about, right? Use your mind to go to the multitude side of things, but be prepared to stumble into kind of a negative thing. So in multiple definitions, this is going more lot to, instead of from point A to point B, the direction of etymology, breaking down the parts of the word. Uh, Now in multi definitions, you're going back to the word to understand more and to simplify from point B to point A. That is the multi definitions, right? So if we go to the example, what is example? Uh, yeah, let's make a simple example. A cat, right? Uh, a cat refers to what? We can't break down a cat into etymology, but a cat, uh, what I mean by cat, there is a multi definitions around the word cat. You can say the cat is a girl. You can say the cat is cute. You can say the cat is you are allergic to a cat. You have an asthma, and then what you can see now is the multi definitions. So in that multi definitions, the purpose of that is to be alert and be aware upon combining those things. So if you if if even the cat is a cute and a girl or a boy, but then you have a asthma, you are allergic to the, yeah, to the cat, to the surface of the fur. So you will not go to the cat. You will go away and be safe, stay safe, right? So that is for the multi definitions, the purpose of it, right? So if you don't go to the etymologies, to the deeper side of things, you can use multi definitions to assess the situation or to go explore and be adventurous. So now we have the next hyperdimensions. Hyper. This is kind of if you study more languages. Me, I don't really study. anymore. Especially the being in a effortful situation is kind of bad thing in a mortal body, right? So you do the at least the effortless things in life. But if ever you have a young brain, or yeah, that's adventurous, curious, I think you should be able to study a more languages, or or you're just passionate about it. You can do study more languages and create your own languages, yeah create your own languages, and maybe you can create a puzzles like codes. Yeah, that is very good and very important. So you're not the only one who will solve the mysteries of the universe or the world, but you will be the one who create your own problem and share it to others. So I guess it's just the next level of this, from etymology, multi definitions, and going to hyperdimensions. This is what I recall. That yeah, this is what I recall about the levels that's going down, 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 more from simple going to more complex, right? If in writing simple, uh, what I mean, you write in the whiteboard, right? You have a black pentel pen and you write in the whiteboard in simple drawings, and that's it. I get the word now. Drawings. You have a point. From the point, then you can draw a line, and from the line you can draw two parallel lines with a space at the middle, and that level, from that level you can now form a triangle, which is 3 points and 3 lines and one space outside, right? So then you have now triangle, and the next basic thing, you have a square, and from that square you kind of imagine a circle, because you if you just trace the outside connection from of the square, you will have a circle. So from that circle, you kind of experiment a little more deep. You draw a triangle, a two triangle, and now you have a what you call star. Yeah, and you go more deep, more polygons, more shapes, and after you board with more shapes, you put a colors, a textures, you put a apple, and you have now a real thing, right? You draw a picture of things that you see now, and you draw also things that you can only imagine for yourself. A combination of reality leading to fantasies. That's what I think is hyperdimensions is. These dimensions that maybe we cannot see, or uh, we can really just develop in our minds, right? It's like the other my examples on the past videos. Uh, the Tower of Babel. Maybe it's just a novel. They just imagine these things that they create this tower as the same as building a house, right? If you build a house and you have an experience of this tsunami or a storm that is gonna push the house into wasteland, then you could say that you can connect fantasy to reality in a language way of hyper dimensions, right? So to explain that is to go to from simple to complex, from basic to complex, right? This So that is hyperdimensions. So now we know what etymology is. Etymology, multi-definitions, and hyperdimensions. Yeah, the basics of etymology. If you go to unknown place, then at least you have an idea or two. You have the etymology, right? You uh, piece up the words and understand it for yourself. Especially when you go to multi definitions, this is about the contracts, right? Uh, Multi definitions, you must know the terms, yeah, the terms of services, etc., and the laws. You know the definition. You go to specialized dictionaries, right? Uh, so the next will be hyperdimensions. This is the thing that you kinda see what other people is really trying to set up for you. Mm, you the invisibility of things. Uh, for example, gestures. That's it. Gestures. Uh, it's not even talking to you. You just want um, to do his thing, but you understand the other side of it, and you still check him out or check her out, right? That's why this kind of abundance of language that we are tackling into is very wide. You can go adventurous as you want, but still, we really need to figure out first the priority of ourselves is the priority of ourselves. What we really want out of this everything, this abundance of language. Uh, Maybe if you put it into the animal, it just becomes a instinct or intuition. But in terms of artificial intelligence, uh, we are not different into the artificial intelligence where we are calculable. We do calculated things nowadays, but some people don't do that thing. They still rely on their instincts and intuition. Yeah, there's a lot of people that rely on instinct and intuition, including me. Yes, I don't do that much full effort to uh, explore things to uh, the uh, freshness of enjoyment because I think novelty has been died for me. Right? You experience the same things over and over again, then it's kind of died because this universe is limited uh, for people like me, for people like you. If you are not that rich, then uh, it is really limiting. But still, you can still talk, you can still move because, as I say, language is just a form of sounds and movements and existence or non-existence, right? Uh, the observer and the observed, right? That's how language form. When you see something, you describe something. You describe that thing. So I think that yeah, language is infinity. It's eternal, and it's the imprint of everything. And we're just We're just a little ant. Uh, but if you talk about that little ant, and we're going back again to the past videos, the NPC side of things and the MC side of things, we're gonna choose the MC side of things because we're gonna need to thrive and survive. Yeah, even the ants, the little ants, they thought of themselves that they're the one that exists for this everything, right? Because if they don't do that, they can't really move their bodies. The functionality, right? Yeah, this built-in functionality, this automatic intelligence of things, you can call it the wheel, right? The blind wheel, or something that they say, is really the kickstart of this continuous creation, destruction, continuous existence, non-existence, never-ending infinity, the language, the abundance of language of things. It's really infinite. If we can say that. So in contrast, then why are we living in kind of harsh conditions, scarcity, poverty, right? But now, at least the economy is kind of going down, but we're thriving. I mean, thriving in a sense, not in you can eat uh, 3 times a day, but some of us eat 2 times a day, right? Or 1 times a day. At least you eat every day, so you can survive and, yeah, produce more things. Uh, at least for ourselves, right? So what are we talking about now? Yeah, about the language, the functionality. This built-in functionality is about to to just live, to just experience things. So if that is just the purpose, then that is the purpose of the universe and the multiverse and so on. As of now, that is the current data. Yeah, the present data. We're just here to live, pass by, and if you ever created a clone, a baby of yours, then that's your abundance of language. That's the abundance of language. And if ever you don't wanna pass your genes in these harsh conditions of surface of the earth, then it's no problem. Maybe the next dimensions is a good one. A what you call this? Little bit of a paradise. So going back to what I call it is the meaning of meaning is minimization, right? Because to get what we really mean out of everything. So some people struggle a lot because they think a lot. They can't reduce their thinking, and as I said, the reverse of thinking is action, right? If you move your body, you will not think anymore. You're moving your body constantly. So it's a matter of balancing in a balance plan. Yeah, you can balance with action and balancing in action and execute, but the plan must be balanced. Only in execution and action that's balancing. You can't really balance at all. forever and ever in eternity, but balancing. Yeah, it's like pedaling a bike. So what I mean by this meaning is minimization, and these people or persons kinda they want everything, right? But they lost the sight of the meaning because they've gone crazy. Instead of minimization, they do the opposite of meaning, which is maximization. And when you maximize things, you hoard things, it backfires, right? Yeah, you lost your meaning. That's why if you are rich and you're really pointing out to a lot of money, your value to a lot of money, then I guess you lost your meaning. Yeah, yeah, that's it. The value of things is not really uh, transparent. Yeah, the word is transparent. So, so in today's world, the abundance of language is about transparency because these 4 years or 5 years, the prices of things got doubled. So the transparency between wages and um, the purchasing power and the whatever you call excess of money in the world is uh, becoming blur, right? The rich got richer, the poor got poorer. So that the transparency in this universe, in this world, is kind of a blur. It's kind of a mess. Yeah, there's an abundance of money. Yeah, there's an abundance of people that are struggling. Yeah, and through that abundance of money and abundance of uh, people that are struggling, there is a kind of a in the middle. It's rising from the ashes, right? The abundance of language. This kind of a uh, positive, negative of artificial intelligence. The one that will benefit to artificial intelligence is the one that will use it, and the one that will not use it will uh, kind of loss of some of this abundance of language, right? They will not use artificial intelligence. Instead, they will rely on their instinct and intuition, and that is not bad. I mean, it's easy to be a NPC, right? You go walk through, even if someone asks you, you just do the easiest stuff, then you walk away. You don't go there and stay there and be lectured or something like um, sermon, right? You don't go to a person that is asking you, like a boss, like a, yeah. So I think understanding this abundance of language around us is to help us understand our place in this universe, and to make our own selves, to develop and reinvent ourselves out of this given given paradise or paradoxes in the world. We are always contradicting ourselves. We are always contradicting each other, the world, the universe, the multiverse, right? Until we pass away and kind of go to the next dimensions, if ever there is, and if things such exist. Because I think that in this universe, kind of the wave to above the fountain, then it's got to flatten the water, right? And then it's got to dive down the rock to the bottom of the water. I think that's what is happening. So in the past, it's positive. All people together enjoy each other with the harmony of the nature, the world, and the universe. But then it's got positive and negative. There will be a contrast. There will be the rich and the poor, and it's kind of dancing the replacement of the poor to the rich, the rebellion. It becomes negative positive. So, and now we are now, I think, in the last phase of the cycle, last phase, which is the negative. It becoming kind of a, even if you are rich, you have this kind of a boredom and unsatisfaction of things. And even if you're poor, you're not happy anymore. You're in a situation that is with a abundance of language. You don't feel content. You feel kind of distracted and confused. You are in a hell and a torture state. But at least you have the option to let not get tortured yourself by thinking more. You just move and move and move and execute your action, your things to do, and you just do the easiest NPC skill, which is the multiple choices. Right? We have been trained to do this kind of stuff, the multiple choices. So I think that will help to become a to have an easy life. You have the multiple choice of four choices. Yeah, that's what I think. With the abundance of language, you just need the four choices every time you decide. So you will have an easy and comfortable life. So I guess I think I talk a lot now. Happy abundance of language day, if ever there will be. So I wish you all a abundance within abundance, whatever abundance you have, maybe pain, pleasure, or whatever. You will use your language to achieve whatever imagination or reality or fantasy that you have at your disposals. So I guess that's it. Abundance to you all. Thank you for watching.